Have you ever noticed that the moment your house goes completely quiet at night, that sound in your ears seems to get louder? That persistent ringing or hissing or buzzing that only you can hear, filling every moment of silence like an unwanted companion you cannot shake. If you know exactly what I'm describing, then I want you to hear something important right now before we go any further. You are not imagining it. You are not being dramatic, and you are absolutely not alone. Some estimates suggest that tens of millions of adults over the age of 60 live with some degree of this experience every single day. And what genuinely troubles me as a doctor is that the vast majority of those people were told at some point that there's nothing that can be done, that it is simply aging, that they need to accept it and learn to manage. I want to tell you clearly and directly today that while this condition, known clinically as tinnitus, is complex and individual, the idea that nothing can be addressed and nothing can be improved is simply not the complete picture. Today, I'm going to walk you through 8 specific nutritional and lifestyle factors that some research suggests may play a meaningful role in the tinnitus experience. And I'm going to give you a genuinely practical, natural action plan you can begin working with starting right now. I am Dr. Michael Chen, and you are watching Healthy Aging Insights, the channel dedicated to giving men and women over 60 the honest, clear, and genuinely useful health information your body deserves. If this is your first time here, I would love for you to subscribe and join this community, because this is exactly what I share every single week for people just like you. Before we go any further, I want to ask you something personal. How long have you been living with ringing or buzzing in your ears? Is it something that comes and goes depending on the day, or is it something you experience every single morning when you wake up? Drop your answer in the comments right now, because I read every single one, and your responses genuinely shape the content I create here for this community. Now let me explain what is actually happening inside your head when tinnitus occurs, because once you understand the biology behind it, everything else I'm going to share today will make complete and logical sense. Deep inside your inner ear are thousands of extraordinarily delicate hair cells. These microscopic structures are responsible for converting the sound vibrations entering your ear into electrical signals that your brain interprets as sound. They are incredibly sensitive, and they depend on a constant, well-maintained supply of nutrients and healthy blood flow to function properly. When that supply is disrupted, when inflammation interferes with circulation, when key nutritional building blocks fall too low, when oxidative stress accumulates and damages these fragile cells, something remarkable and frustrating begins to happen. These hair cells start sending electrical signals to the brain, even when no external sound is actually present. And your brain, doing exactly what it was designed to do, faithfully interprets those signals as sound. The ringing, the buzzing, the hissing, the humming. These are your brain processing signals from an auditory system that is under stress and asking for help. There is also a brain-level dimension to this that some more recent research has begun to explore. Your brain has a natural filtering system designed to suppress repetitive background signals and prevent them from reaching your conscious awareness. Some researchers now believe that in people with persistent tinnitus, this filtering system may become less effective over time, allowing signals that would normally be screened out to push through into conscious experience. This is one reason why stress, poor sleep, and emotional exhaustion so reliably make tinnitus feel more intense and intrusive. The mental resources needed to support that filtering process are the very same ones being depleted when you are overwhelmed or running on poor sleep. Understanding all of this means understanding that addressing tinnitus naturally is never about one single magic remedy. It is about systematically removing the stressors and restoring the nutritional resources your auditory system is genuinely asking for. And that is precisely what the following 8 strategies are designed to do. The first strategy involves magnesium, and this connection surprises many of my patients when I first raise it. Magnesium plays a role in your nervous system that goes far beyond what most people appreciate. It helps regulate and calm the electrical activity of nerve cells throughout your body, including those in your auditory pathway. When magnesium levels run low, nerve cells can become what researchers describe as hyperexcitable, meaning they fire more readily and more intensely than they should. Some studies suggest there may be a meaningful connection between low magnesium status and the intensity of tinnitus symptoms in certain people. And some research has looked at the relationship between magnesium and the protection of inner ear hair cells from noise-related damage. The encouraging thing is that magnesium-rich foods are affordable, accessible, and genuinely enjoyable. Dark leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard, avocado, almonds, pumpkin seeds, black beans, cashews, and even good quality dark chocolate are all excellent sources. The key is incorporating these foods regularly and consistently into your daily eating rather than occasionally. The second strategy connects to one of the most under-recognized nutritional issues in adults over 60, and it relates directly to the health of your auditory nerve. Vitamin B12 is essential for maintaining the protective insulating coating called myelin that surrounds every nerve in your body, including the auditory nerve. This coating allows electrical signals to travel cleanly and efficiently along the nerve pathway. When B12 levels fall, and they can fall significantly in older adults, because the stomach's ability to absorb B12 from food naturally decreases with age, that myelin coating can thin and become compromised. Some researchers believe that irregular or disrupted nerve signaling resulting from this thinning may contribute to the phantom sounds of tinnitus in certain people. Pro tip that many people are simply not aware of. If you currently take a medication for blood sugar management or a long-term acid reflux medication, some research suggests these can further reduce B12 absorption over time. If either applies to you, this is absolutely worth raising with your doctor and asking specifically about your B12 level. Food sources of B12 include eggs, salmon, sardines, beef, and dairy products. A simple blood test can reveal your current level, and that information is genuinely worth having. But stay right here, because what I'm about to share next is something I consider one of the most overlooked and underappreciated contributors to tinnitus in people over 60, and addressing it may produce meaningful change faster than almost anything else on this list. The third strategy is about inflammation, and more specifically about how the foods and habits that promote or reduce chronic low-grade inflammation affect the delicate systems of the inner ear. Chronic systemic inflammation is now understood by researchers to be a common underlying thread running through a wide range of conditions that become more prevalent with age. The auditory system is not exempt from its effects. Inflammation can compromise blood flow to the inner ear, damage the hair cells responsible for sound detection, and interfere with the normal functioning of the auditory nerve pathway. The dietary pattern most consistently linked in research with reduced systemic inflammation is one built around genuinely whole, unprocessed foods, abundant vegetables and fruits, fatty fish, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, olive oil, nuts, seeds, legumes, and anti-inflammatory herbs like turmeric and ginger. Simultaneously, the foods most consistently associated with increased inflammation include refined sugars, ultra-processed packaged foods, and excessive alcohol consumption. Reducing these meaningfully and consistently over weeks and months may support a less inflamed internal environment throughout your body, including your inner ear. Let me tell you about a patient I will call Eleanor. She is 67 years old and came to see me after living with a persistent, high-pitched ringing in both ears for nearly 2 years, a ringing that had gradually worsened to the point where it was affecting her sleep quality, her ability to concentrate, and her enjoyment of daily life. She had seen specialists who had confirmed tinnitus and had offered little beyond management suggestions and a referral for a hearing assessment. Eleanor was determined to explore every natural avenue available to her before accepting this as simply her new permanent reality. Over the following 3 months, we worked through many of the strategies I am sharing with you today. She systematically addressed her diet, significantly reducing the processed and sugar-laden foods that had gradually become a larger part of her eating habits. She increased her fatty fish intake, incorporated daily magnesium-rich foods, and addressed a meaningful B12 shortfall that her blood work revealed. She also made the sleep and stress management changes we will discuss shortly. By month 3, Eleanor told me the ringing had become noticeably quieter and far less intrusive in her daily awareness. By month 5, she said something that genuinely moved me. She said she had almost stopped noticing it during the daytime hours. It was still present when she deliberately listened for it, but it had stopped being the very first thing she heard each morning when she woke up. Eleanor's story is not a promise of any specific result for you, because tinnitus is complex and deeply individual. But it is a real and encouraging example of what consistent and patient natural intervention may make possible. If you are finding value in what I am sharing today, please take a moment right now to hit the like button on this video. It costs you 1 second, and it genuinely helps this information reach more people in our community who are dealing with the same challenges you are. Now, let us continue, because the next 3 strategies build on everything we have covered so far. The 4th strategy is zinc, and its specific connection to tinnitus has received genuine scientific attention in the research literature over the years. Your inner ear contains one of the highest concentrations of zinc of any tissue in the entire human body, and that concentration exists for a reason. Zinc is a critical component of the antioxidant defense system, protecting your delicate hair cells from oxidative damage. It also supports the healthy transmission of signals through your auditory nerve. And some studies have suggested that people with tinnitus may have lower zinc levels on average than those without the condition, though researchers are careful to note that zinc supplementation has not consistently shown benefit across all studies, and individual responses vary considerably. The best whole food sources of zinc include oysters, which are exceptionally concentrated in it, beef, pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, chickpeas, lentils, and cashews. A practical note worth knowing is that soaking and properly cooking legumes and grains helps reduce compounds that can interfere with zinc absorption, making the zinc in those foods more available to your body. The 5th strategy speaks directly to the relationship between your cardiovascular health and the health of your inner ear, and this connection is stronger than most people realize. Your inner ear is supplied by one of the most delicate and narrow blood vessels anywhere in the body. Even relatively minor reductions in blood flow caused by inflammation, poor circulation, or blood that has become more viscous than it should be can meaningfully compromise the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to those sensitive hair cells. This is why habits that support healthy circulation throughout your body support the inner ear as a direct benefit. Regular, gentle physical movement like daily walking, staying consistently hydrated, managing blood pressure, and eating in ways that reduce inflammation all contribute to healthier microcirculation in the inner ear. Natural foods associated in research with supporting healthy blood vessel function include oily fish, garlic, ginger, beets, and dark leafy greens. None of these are difficult to find or expensive, and incorporating them into your regular weekly meals is genuinely achievable. The 6th strategy is one that rarely comes up in discussions about tinnitus, and yet in my clinical experience, it is relevant for a meaningful number of people. It is the connection between jaw tension, neck stiffness, and the experience of tinnitus. Some estimates suggest that a significant proportion of people with tinnitus have what researchers sometimes call somatic tinnitus, meaning their symptoms are influenced by physical tension or dysfunction in the muscles and joints of the jaw, neck, or upper spine. These structures share nerve pathways and anatomical relationships with the auditory system, which means chronic jaw muscle tension, grinding teeth during sleep, or persistent tightness in the neck and upper back can sometimes influence or even amplify tinnitus signals. Many people discover that addressing jaw tension through targeted stretches, reducing clenching habits during the day, or working with a physical therapist on neck and shoulder mobility produces a surprising reduction in their tinnitus experience. If you notice that your tinnitus seems to change when you move your jaw, turn your head, or press on certain areas of your neck, this connection is absolutely worth raising with your doctor or a qualified physiotherapist. Now, pay very close attention here because what I'm about to share connects everything we have discussed today in a way that very few people have ever explained to you clearly. The seventh strategy is the sleep quality and nervous system repair connection. And the relationship between tinnitus and sleep runs in both directions in a way that creates one of the most challenging cycles people experience. Tinnitus makes sleep harder, and poor sleep makes tinnitus more intense and more difficult to manage. Here's the physiology. During deep and restorative sleep, your brain performs essential maintenance throughout your nervous system, including your auditory pathways. And inflammatory processes are regulated. Waste products that accumulate in brain tissue during waking hours are cleared. Neural connections are maintained and consolidated. And crucially, the brain's natural ability to suppress and filter phantom signals is reset and restored by adequate rest. When sleep is consistently poor or insufficient, this entire maintenance cycle is disrupted, and the filtering capacity your brain uses to manage tinnitus signals is significantly reduced. Supporting genuinely restorative sleep is therefore not a secondary consideration when addressing tinnitus. It is central to everything. Practical steps that may support sleep quality include maintaining a consistent sleep and wake time every day, including weekends, keeping your sleeping environment cool and very dark, limiting screen use for at least an hour before bed, and using a gentle, continuous background sound, like a fan or soft nature sounds, to provide auditory context that can make tinnitus less prominent in the deep quiet of nighttime. The eighth and final strategy brings us to vitamin D and its role in the health of your nervous system, an area receiving genuinely growing attention in recent research. Vitamin D functions as a regulatory molecule throughout your nervous system, influencing the health and behavior of nerve cells and modulating inflammatory processes throughout the body. Some research has suggested that people with chronic tinnitus may tend to have lower vitamin D levels than those without the condition, though researchers note that understanding the full nature of this relationship requires ongoing study. What is clearly and consistently established is that vitamin D deficiency is extremely prevalent in adults over 60, particularly in those who spend limited time outdoors, who live in northern regions, or who use sunscreen extensively. Getting 15 to 20 minutes of direct morning sunlight on your skin on as many days as comfortably possible is one of the simplest ways to support your body's natural vitamin D production. Food sources include fatty fish, egg yolks, and fortified dairy products. Your doctor can measure your vitamin D level with a simple blood test, and this is genuinely worth requesting at your next appointment if you have not had it checked recently. Important warning, I cannot leave out. If your tinnitus has begun suddenly, particularly if it is only in one ear or if it is accompanied by hearing loss, any sense of dizziness or spinning, or any other neurological changes, please see your doctor promptly rather than attributing it to nutritional factors. Sudden onset tinnitus, especially in one ear, deserves proper medical evaluation to rule out causes that need timely attention. Please do not delay seeking evaluation for these specific presentations. Here's your clear action plan beginning today. Start by adding a magnesium-rich food to every meal this week. Spinach with breakfast, a handful of almonds as a snack, avocado at lunch. This is simple and begins supporting your nervous system immediately. At your next doctor's appointment, ask for your vitamin B12 and vitamin D levels to be checked with a blood test. Knowing your actual numbers gives you and your doctor the foundation for addressing any shortfalls appropriately. Make one meaningful anti-inflammatory dietary upgrade this week. Replace one regularly eaten, processed, or sugary food with a whole food alternative and maintain it consistently. Tonight, begin your sleep environment improvements. Set a consistent bedtime. Reduce screen brightness an hour before bed and consider a gentle background sound source. And if you experience regular jaw tension, teeth grinding, or neck stiffness, bring this specifically to your doctor or physical therapist and make the tinnitus connection explicit. Your body is not failing you. It is communicating with you. The ringing or buzzing you hear is an invitation to understand what your auditory system genuinely needs and to give it the support it has been requesting. I have seen patients in their 60s, 70s, and beyond experience meaningful improvements in their tinnitus by applying these strategies consistently and patiently. You deserve to explore every natural avenue available to you with genuine knowledge behind you. Remember, this video is for informational and educational purposes only. Always consult with your personal doctor before making any changes to your health. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Healthy Aging Insights and hit the notification bell so you never miss a health tip. See you in the next video.